Hello YouTube fam. We're doing something a little different today. Ended up cutting the stream short, so I don't have a new deck idea for today to share. I have some things in the works. So instead, I thought I would just chat with you guys and really go in depth on how I'm going to mulligan and play the game. And so let me go ahead and talk about the mulligan here. Okay, we're going second. I can play a pretty passive round here. I don't know if I'm going to commit the Hamadryad, but I'll put you back for now. Not sure I'm going to commit the Hamadryad, so I'll put you back for now. Got my Neomancy. Excellent. So let's talk a little bit. Because I burnt down stream, gotta go in depth, which is something I think a lot of you have been wanting for a while. How... I don't know, I get the request a lot here of, John, why don't you talk a little bit more about your gameplay and such? I'll do Dunka. Let's see what they respond here with. On stream, I'm very active in talking with people, but it's sometimes nice to go ahead and go in detail. Cool. This is also new to me, so forgive me in advance if I'm not doing it quite right. So, I was wondering if they do Blademaker here. Are you going to trade the Collar off? If they trade Collar, that's fine. We have a 5 on Sorceress. That's pretty lucky. That means we're going to get another Nature's Rebuke later on. Potentially also, I can go Bountiful Harvest, pick the leftmost, and make sure it's at 7. Which is a pretty good number to have it at. I don't think there's going to be more damage coming in. More likely a lock, but that's not something our deck can deal with pretty easily if 2 Dryad's Caress. Right now, I know they're Nilfgaard. They got their Thinning. They're the Blademaker shenanigans. It is okay to be mean here and just be unitless for a second. Or relatively unitless. That sets up later on a target for Force Protector, who's an absolute beast in this deck. Bountiful Harvest or going on the offense. Now, they are Double Cross. Or they Ball is really, in my eyes, is the real question here. Bountiful is looking pretty promising. Another choice I like also is an early Simless. I don't want to give him a great coup target. An early Simless could buff up some stuff in our hands, and so. Do your exiling. +9, I imagine. Yeah. Typically just getting rid of the spies from Brathens, because they're like okay, but they're nothing great. At least that's what I like to get rid of. There's some interesting ways to play here. Isengrim's not terrible. If I want to lean into the buffing strategy, where I could Isengrim, get either Simless or Sorceress here. They don't have that many locks. Maybe I should just put you out there and see what happens. We'll do Bountiful. Let's see what they got. Bountiful. I go rightmost. Buffs up Hama. That should be fine. My thought here is, look, if you have a lock, you'll go for it. If it's Tourney Just, that'd be really weird that we can just kill it. That's, like, so be it. Not committing much here. A little bit of carryover. Haven't put anything out. The only thing that's really on my mind here is I want Simless out. Okay, so they passed. That's weird. So Simless, I think Simless and getting Double Circle of Life is very good here. It thins out our deck from a lot of our weaker draws. And we do need to get ahead, and it gets rid of a target, which is very coolable. So I think buffing Sorceress makes sense to me. Buffing Ren also makes sense to me. This will get really tall anyways. Might as well, and this is such a high target where if I play it, they might just Vilgefortz it or Yenvo it. I'm gonna go from Ren. It's just like consistent points. Click you. No Waylay. Do you have any Dryads? No Dryads. So really Tempering's our best choice here. I'll go for the Tempering here. Now, this deck likes a good bleed, so I will go ahead and commit the singular Rock of Nature's Gift here. Why do we like bleeding? Our stuff is very mid-range-ish and demands a lot of answers. And we also have really dangerous finishers in Herald and Force Protector, because Force Protector now is Bountiful Harvest as a target. So we can easily dump out a ton of points without really good without really any answers my opponent can come up with. Hand's fairly good. Hamadryad number 2 might be a bit excessive. I think in this case I would love to see a Nature's Rebuke or Bountiful Harvest instead. In this case, I'm not really worried about Maxi. We have so much good tutoring here. It's like an okay card. I have it in the deck mostly for a pass. But in this case, we're not in a situation where we want blue coin and they pass on 6 or on 5. I'm going to go ahead and just open up with the Pyrotech. It's an obnoxious card to deal with. It trades really well. It can absorb damage. It basically says, hey, are you going to play a proactive card? Because if you are, it's probably not going to go very far, very fast. Now I noticed this didn't end up being devotion. I tried really hard to make devotion work, but Heatwave and our Neomancer are just so good. Just so freaking good. In the current meta. Solution for Getty, solution for Melusine, solution for Troy. It's just a solid card, and our Neomancer, you need a way to find it. So I ran it with all the spell thinning to make sure Gord gets their just desserts, even though I'm not running the Elven Seer, which, fun fact, was the card I spoiled, and fun fact, has brought me incredible amounts of misery. Here we go, what do we got? Bilgefort's Renegade, took my Simless. Okay. So we do want to get that out of him. So I'm just going to go ahead and play you front row, minimize the risk of Assassinate. Click here, good trade, just take advantage of it while we have it. Gets me the full value I can get off the fire attack. Let's see what they do. This demands an answer, because if this hits Bountiful Harvest, it's a really powerful moment for us. That's a lot of points, and potentially gets us into a very similar situation of click this, Bountiful, get another Sorceress, buff something in my hand. It gets out of control fast. Excellent. So, the Simless is going to be for double Imperial Diplomacy. Dangerous and annoying, but we'll deal with it. Okay, Mage Torturer. Not really much of a surprise there. This feels like the Assimilate deck of Terra Nova and Brathens that everybody keeps running, and then they swapped to Double Cross because there was that recent Gwent tournament where everyone chose Double Cross over Imprisonment, as people have moved to more point slammy decks as opposed to... Give me a second, let's just think this one through. Point slammy decks. I don't want to format Forest Protector here. Point slam decks as opposed to decks with things to lock. Okay. I am going to go ahead, I think, and commit the Forest Protector here. We really do need to force out some stuff. I'm going to do Nature's Rebuke. Bountiful Harvest is great, but it's really not a big deal. We just click this and get it ourselves. See? Always lucky. Ooh. That's a good hit. That's 7. And notice how painful this bleed is, right? We're up 23 points. Yes, they have a little bit of value off of Simless coming in, but as long as we keep murdering the Assimilate engines, like, not really that big of a deal. My favorite part about this deck is this deck actually is very strong. It's super obnoxious. They're going to go ahead and copy the Sorceress here. I can either go for the lock play here. If you're going for the Archer, I think that's a mistake. I think it's actually a huge mistake. There's not really much value for the Archer. Because it's like 7, but this can trigger Assimilate. It's very easy to get 9 points off of it just by getting a Tempering, and then you get to proc Assimilate too for even more. I think that play is sus. Now, because of that, I'm tempted to go even further here. Let's bait out a little bit the Hamadryad here. Bob is going to be a Bountiful Harvest, and then we'll just have a massive Moran at the end. Okay, there goes that. Okay, that's not a bad thing to get out. We can keep leading. We're up by so many points here. I think we go for the Fall of Bountiful, because if we're lucky, I can go Bountiful Harvest. And we can hit Whisper. And this is a huge threat. A really big problem. Because now, Whisper is such a weird card. It can be anywhere for 3 to 5. Demands an answer. And you can trade pretty well into this. You can spend that 4-point removal, a D-Bomb, Gutting Slash, etc. Even Madrame kills it. Into it. But if you don't immediately kill, they're going to coup here. Ooh, Turning Gels. They are teching it. Weird. If you don't kill it, I mean, this thing could be like 20-ish, 7 points, 27 points. Was it Watchflake who was complaining about it? It might have been Watchflake. Now I want to be thinking, okay, how much more I want to bleed? Because I do want this out before they get their Assimilate engines down. I'm just going to go for the walk here. Trying to get that Simless out of their hand. See him hovering it like, they got that, okay. They're gonna double cross. They'll heat wave here, and we can then, if we want to, just pass here pretty easily. Because you have to pick heat wave. It's 7, 8, 9. 9 puts you at 30, and I could pass here. The alternative is you push again, which is kind of funny. Actually, is that right to push again? Terra Nova is painful. Push again, because there is a line of play. What are you at? You're 10. I'm going to do a 4. I'll pass. Four is a pretty rough number when they have 2 engines out for me to deal with. I could have, the other line of play was Easing Graham, grab a Hama, pop the Nature's Gift on it for an 8-point play, 9-point, 10-point, 10 base, something like that. A good strong play. A little tired still. Again, I burnt out on stream, got sick, hence we're doing this. This deck kind of cracked me out on YouTube because I posted it on YouTube fam, and the first comment was like, "This deck sucks." Like, literally the first game's taking down Spiro in his deck, and then like I'm like, no, I like literally just was slaughtering after I put together this particular list. It was so easy. The bleeds are great, the ability to resist a bleed is great, your long round is great, and your short round is great. Like, it's just a very mean deck. It has a lot of answers, and you get Heat Wave. It's a grand time. Passing is really dangerous, right? Because I have a little bit of carryover and Symbiosis. Plus, only good cards are probably left in their hand here. If we get a gold here, it's an incredible pass. Nailed it, right? So 4 is great. It means you need at least 5. But look at this value, right? That's a 9 provision card that is one of the better Nilfgaard cards right now. It's definitely a sleeper hit. I can't wait to experiment with it. This is actually what I was going to do today before I burned out. I was working for a different deck at the time, but that was the next deck to work on. So, expect a little bit of spoiler in a couple of days. Looking at our hand here, we have Hama. Dryad's Crest is actually pretty good. We haven't seen Yenvo, so I don't really want to... Ooh, no, they stole my Heat Wave. So they have Yenvo, so I don't like going too tall is not a big deal. Or is a big deal. Let's see. Basically, I can't stop myself from going too tall. I have 2 units left in the deck. I mean, it's about as good as it gets. I think a Nature's Rebuke could be really nice. I can't guarantee it, though. The odds really aren't great. So I'll keep the hand. Because if we hit either of our ST units, like if I mulligan, hit Maxi, mulligan that, and hit ST unit, I'm just dead in the water. Or if I mulligan, hit a Herald, then mulligan that, hit Pyro, and dead in the water. Terra Nova's great. So, a couple ways to handle this. I think it would be very foolish if you were to say, I'm going to purify this. You'd probably lose the game immediately. The reason you would lose the game immediately is they'll click this, making a bomb, put it back, trigger the +1 here, and then Q it anyways, and you're down and out. So, I think the line of play I'm going to take... this. I think I'm just going to go for the Hama Dryad buff. I don't think Hama's going to live very long, unfortunately, here.
Mother Earth, I grant you my life.
Having this at 13 is kind of okay for us. Actually, I would argue it's pretty good. They thin their decks, all Nilfgaard players thin their deck so fast these days that they're going to get Terra Nova. But the fact that their engine is the one that's very tall means that this can probably be, especially if they have Simless double Imperial Diplomacy, we're looking at potentially a 16, 17, 18 point Heatwave target, and that is fine. That'll swing it pretty heavily. And Herald right now is at 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. Obviously, though, caps at 12, so it'll be a 15-point play, but that's a lot. That helps us really catch up here. Let's see. Now, I wonder... They did have to cut something for Vilgefort's Renegade, so I wonder what they got rid of to really make this all possible. Okay, Turncoat's great for us on a lot of levels. It's slow, it's bad. Yeah, making a bomb? That seems like a really weak play in my opinion. So you could cancel it out, but actually two reasons you want to let this thing tick. One is the lower it goes, let's say it lost 3, went to 3. This would then buff it. Oh, it purifies too. That's true. No, I'm still waking up. Be kind. I have this olive oil here. I took a shower. It was not olive oil. Let's see here. Do I want a Sorceress or do I want to go? I think I'm going to go for the back row. Yeah, I'll go back row here.
Spit it out already.
Friends more making a bombs in case of Imperial Diplomacy and YOLO. But also, their deck probably has something high. And I might be overthinking things. I'll be very honest here. But there's also really interesting... There's a couple lines of play I really like. A lot of butts there. So if I go here, I'm kind of betting they don't have tall removal. But not seeing Yenvo... I think Vincent over Yenvo would be a mistake in my opinion. Yenvo seems like the stronger card. I think you actually let this bleed out. You go here. Get this unlocked again. Hit the Bountiful Harvest. Because of course you hit the Bountiful Harvest. Am I right? Now, my options are some of the worst ones possible. In this case, Lobon Thana... let's see. I mean, you kind of have to go for this. I don't like this reality, though, I confess. We got lucky, because if this had hit here, it would have only been a 4-point play, but my other options were only 4-point plays, so be it. Not really worried about them cooing it, because they're going to coo Joachim. We're still pretty much kind of keeping in it. It's really coming down to, in my eyes, is this double Imperial Diplomacy? Is this double Imperial Diplomacy? I think it is. It's such a great fill-in 4-point card for assimilate-oriented decks that we're going to probably eat it here. We still aren't technically out of it. And maybe one of my mistakes was not trying to set up the Pyrotechnician earlier. Because, like, maybe I should have delayed everything by 1. Okay, there's the Envo. So you didn't go too tall here. Do you want to call the Force for the Pyrotech here? Oh, we'll just tuck you over here. Minimize potential treason damage. Unlikely, but you never know. Play around what you can. This is set up, and I just, I feel like we're in okay shape. I think we probably have like a 40% chance of winning. Their hand is Q Simless, and I think you have the 2 Imperials. I don't know what you're going to roll off the Imperials. Did they just shock that? Was that worth it to them? Now this gets kind of interesting to me.
Ugh, stop gurgling like
Is
that.
this worth heat waving? And my answer is probably yes. No, you're gonna get double procs there. You wanna, this definitely the turn you heat wave. Because this will be the biggest unless you roll. Because you can be 5, 17, but then you're 18, you buff there. I think Terra Nova will be bigger than this. So what you do is you heat wave the Terra Nova, you click here, and you're just gonna hit this every time. And by this, I mean that. See, not too bad, not too bad. We're down on board. I think they have us, unfortunately. If they have the double Imperials, this is gonna hurt a lot. It's not really a bad roll. This will be Waylay for... But yeah, it'll just be a Waylay. They'll kill the Hama. They'd be foolish of them to kill anything else, because this does have the Symbiosis tag, so it'll help mitigate some of our damage. Unless, okay, so they missed it. Because obviously that was more points. So their options there were Nature's Caress, Tempering, and Making a Bomb. There's only 4 options. They do have the double Imperials. Wow. Vilgefort's Renegade. I was right to play this in round 1. I mean, who would have thought they'd run Vilgefort's Renegade? It looks like they cut Vigo to make this all happen. Being Lydia, I don't think this is the right deck for good old Lydia. Where are you, Lydia? Your Devotion, I bet. So you do get a lot of value there. I think we're looking like an L. We put up a good fight, though. At least it's only, like, what, 5 points? And a Trap. Trap's a bummer. Unless it's Crushing, and they really threw. But I do believe it's going to be Incinerating, and it'll cost us the game. It was Crushing, and then Spring it. Well, we take those. Good game. E and G. And what are we at now? Almost 20? Yeah, I like don't grind my decks. And this is why I thought the deck was really good. We just immediately started crushing on the ladder or at least I started crushing on the ladder. We playing Dark Fam, playing vicariously through me. Started really crushing when I finally got this deck together. And it was pretty non-stop. It was pretty darn good. And early on in the patch, it's really just people who are obsessed with Gwent rushing back to pro rank. The top 500 players are there, and all the streamers are there. Because we just grind it out anyways. Pretty much in either of those 2 camps. Got my meteorite powder. Great. Well, I'm not even going to bother editing this video. We are going to play another game. So don't go anywhere. But oh, okay, cool. We're still stuck here waiting for that one. Great. Let's go win another game. Cool. I'm not editing out losses either. You guys have complained enough about it. Well, it's not really complaints. It's both parties. It is more interesting to see a win. And see the lines you take. As opposed to losing, because anyone can lose with a meme deck or creative deck. It's still interesting to watch someone win with one and how to pilot it. Alright, double cross. Not surprised. It's like day 4 of the patch. Day 4 of the patch means everyone runs back to Nilfgaard and say, oh my gosh, everything's OP. Then so now they're going to flee back. We have our Neomancy in our deck, so we're probably going to dig for it. Probably don't need Herald here. Notice we have all 4 of our nature cards. Our mulligan has to be one of these, because if I draw Simless or a Neomancy, I'm going to be very sad. The obvious choice, maybe I'll do Dry Scratch, actually. No Hamadryad in hand, so I can't really get full value here. And these 2 let me play unitless. They're basically even these 2 let me play unitless to an extent early on. Heck yeah. Nilfgaard really struggles when you're not easy to interact with. So they want that full value off of things like... Okay. This is an interesting moment. So there's kind of two ways to play it out. If my hand had Force Spectre or a Neuromancy or 2 Bountiful Harvests or even just a Hama Dryad, I might consider being really aggressive here and just straight up heat waving this. But because they went for this play, we'll go ahead and play Duncan. Now, without the Caller, last game we saw Caller, it was an interesting tech. Very good against the SK weather decks that'll punish you on red coin. Because they'll start getting their engines up. They have 5 turns to do it before the standard pass on 5 becomes available to the proactive player, the blue coin. So, in this case, Caller made actually a lot of sense. So that comes down, and that's fine. I expect that. I think it's alright to just go straight for a Bountiful Harvest here. What do we got? Perfect.
Illusions. You've yet to see
I will. So I buff here on the Assassinate, that's gonna hurt. I think it's okay to buff here. Keep feeling them out and see what they do. If they have a second Blight Maker, this is kind of like a, you know, it makes you cringe. You go straight there, that's fine. No, you went for the Dunka. Wow, okay. So in that case, that kind of messes up things a little bit. It's interesting. So I'm going to hit here. Probably get Nature's Rebuke knowing my luck. Sweet. But I also got... No, in this case, I'll go Circle of Life. Kill the back row. Buff the Sorceress. I can run you out. We'll just tuck you in here. Minimize... again, Assassinate damage. Minimize Treason damage. And this is really tough. This is tough for a Nilfgaard player because they want to interact. They want to stop your stuff. They want to lock, poison, damage. But all this stuff's pretty useless. Play a second Blightmaker here and here and here are all kind of a waste. And it's beautiful, right? Because right now, yeah, so you have to run the Blightmaker. If it hits 3 of the 4 targets, it kind of stinks. And they get lucky because God loves them. And that's okay. God loves me too. I'm going to go ahead, play you here.
I could drown.
If it hit here, it would be really good because 2 Mage Assassins means my odds of getting good value here aren't great. I may, on the next play, decide to click it. This might force the pass out of them, and if it forces the pass, we'll go once again to the bleed. The chances of running into a Simless Renegade still is minimal here. Okay. Interesting. Well, there are 2 lines of play here. I think I'm going to be mean. I think I'm going to go for the mean line of play, which is you Heat Wave here and you smack this. And then if you miss here and trade even, so this will deal 2 damage to itself and it hits Mage, you just smack 1 on the Nature's Gift again. And good things happen. You want to definitely Heat Wave here. And what this does says I'm going to win on even. Let's see what else you got. And then we do that. We miss because one of those days. We're going to buff here. You're pretty well protected from an Assassinate. And now we are ahead on points. I wonder if I can force a double cross. Our hand's trash. This is just me going for golds that you don't want to play right now. And seeing how far we push. There's no good Q targets. They didn't really set up any spying stuff. Bribery is interesting. There are a lot of low rolls on our deck. And then there's Simless, which is a godlike high roll. This is not the low roll you're looking for. The Moran is 7, but it also sets me up to go 8 because it'll be 5 plus 2 plus spawn 1 off of the Symbiosis here. And once again, we put more pressure on our opponent. Now, that was really interesting. That puts it down. Unfortunately, do I have a way to fix that? Not about a serious high roll. They are setting up a coup here. But I think it'll be okay, because if you coup it, you spawn, you don't have any simulates out. I can always smack Circle Life at you. So I'll just do 5 here. I think it's okay to offer them the even trade here. Actually, do I want to offer the even trade? Because I can also just go max. Let's do this. Maxi, that top is insane. Lock is not really something I'm really desiring here. I am going to just take a picture of my screen with my iPhone real fast. So notice, if you're going non-devotion, or I already used Heatwave, but let's imagine Heatwave was down here. That's why Neomancy's here. So really, really good. I'm actually pretty content. Maxi paying for basically herself here by telling us that Force Protection on the bottom of our deck. We want to be aggressive in this round. We've not gotten tall removal from them, so Hamadryades, we got to be a little careful of how much we commit there, as opposed to other things. Now, Lock is like 3 points worth. I mean, Assimilate's going to proc, but not that often. Going back to the photo, the next 2 cards we get are actually the mind-blowingest, most insane cards. The next one is Bountiful Harvest, the one after that is Fob. And I'm going to just go ahead and scoop up both of those. Those cards are nuts. We're going to come out swinging a Bountiful Harvest. Our goal here is 1 of 2. I would really... I want to do that. I was thinking about high rolling for the Whisperer, but I also don't... I would love them to have a unit in case we get Bowman instead. A good target for these two. Hamadryad is our only Dryad in the deck. It is, I think, going Isengrim. Hama's pretty strong here. Search is not really our problem here. We are going to go ahead and put down our last one. So this is an interesting moment. If you have Vincent, you can come out swinging and give me that punch across the face. Because if you play Vincent, you get a head on board and you're really going to be able to push this round. Alternatively, you don't have to do anything. You just chill. Assuming I might put it up bigger because I haven't seen either Dryad's Crest. The trick is I have no interest in playing Dryad's Crest this round. If playing Simless, it's going to be for Circle of Life. I don't want to go higher than a 9. 9's already in Leo range, which is pretty intense, but I don't really have a way around it if I tutor there. There's an argument to say in the future if Leo's drop from 10 to 9. To use Call of the Force in that at that point, but Leo's not popular enough. Leo Boneheart, whatever his name is, not quite popular enough to justify playing around. Okay, that's a weird play. Do we have Nature Rebuke in the grave? Heck yeah. So we come out swinging here. That's an engine, and that means it's an opportunity for us. Now, there's a good chance you die, so I was really tempted to run Neuromancy there. I actually think Neuromancy is... Maybe I do run Neuromancy, actually. So it's kind of like a flippy 50-50. If I go Call the Force for Simless and they coup it, it's going to, you know, I lose an extra, point of value? Not great. On the other hand, if I go for this now and then they kill Hamadryad next turn, I think which is more likely, killing Hamadryad or cooing Simless. I actually think killing Hamadryad is going to be... No, cooing Simless is going to be more likely. I guess it's the same, right? Maybe I'm going crazy. I think I'm overthinking this one. We're not going to worry about that. I did tell you. Yeah, I'm going to go for Nature Rebuke. Shutting down these engines early on really messes up their game plan. You're at 10. You're already higher than I would like, but so be it. No, either way, it's the same. As long as you want to do Call there for the proc here and to keep Simless as a 2 because I'm not calling for Simless. This is weird. I don't like this. There's no good search you're gonna find. Okay, you got Bountiful Harvest, great. I'm also gonna get Bountiful Harvest. I also have a lock in case you hit Sorceress. But do I Bountiful Harvest anyways? Is the real question. Lock? No, you don't have a way to buff this. I think you just come out swinging. Their deck, unless they kept Emissary, they already blew Dead Man's Tongue though, right? Round 1, yeah, so usually Dead Man's Tongue away the Emissary. But I don't actually think they have a way to buff that. Lockwood is impulsive, but attacking Imperial Practitioner is becoming more popular. Is that what it's called? No. The Purify Girl. Okay, they got the Braffins, that's fine. So they get the Braffins Emissary buff. Cool. Bountiful's pretty good. Bowman is not enough. We did not tie, but chose to play last round. Okay, so this is them wanting to say I want to win here. Okay, so do I care if we go negative here? I might not care if we go negative. I might be able to all in. Our short round's pretty darn strong because we get to lean on Herald. And interesting. How do I want to play it out then? Okay, coup is gone. Okay. Coup being gone is really interesting. Because I get to do some dumb stuff in a second. But we're going to start with Bountiful Harvest. Because now Simless is in the clear. So Bountiful Harvest. I did low roll what I actually wanted. Okay, that's fine. I'll take a Sorceress.
Ugh, stop gurgling like
Sorceress here might have been correct. In case of like Red Haze. Be a shocking play, but... Okay, they have the Assassinate. No more bountiful harvests in my deck. I do have an Atris though. But this is the turn to go for the Simless play.
Why should I, an elf, a sage, converse with an ape?
Now, this is an interesting moment. Do I want to go for the double damage? I'm going to go for double purify. I'm going to change my mind a little bit. I'm going to try to force out. They're going to just Yenvo that or Vincent that. It's all the same to me. The reason I'm going to go for that is just that. Might as well get it out now before Gord comes down. We were already going to go negative in this round. That was determined the moment they clicked double cross. And so, at this point, they have a heat wave? Okay. I think we bleed for one more here. Because we should be able to get a pretty good hard from them here. Now, I know I'm more tutoring. Nature's Rebuke is the obvious choice, and I think you just go for it. Nature's Rebuke, murder, her.
You won't let us talk to strangers.
And I hope it's enough, right? Because they play a card, they have to play 11 points here. Which isn't actually really easy for them to do, unless you Terra Nova me. And there's the Terra Nova. So now it's a short round. That's enough because the Assimilate engines. They went on +1. I'm not sure how this ends up looking now. The Pyrotech's looking pretty good. What are we missing here? I mean, they spent Heatwave instead of Vincent. It must be the Melusine tax. I don't think you want Sorceress this round. Honestly, the card I'm thinking I really want is Circle of Life. Because I can play very uninteractively for the first two cards. Because I can Circle 1 and then buff here. And just lean into Gord. Gord's right now already at max. So we're good. Nailed it. Ah, poor Gord. A victim of Orb. A victim of Orb. But it's reasonable. If Gord needs to see more play, they can always just tweak this number. No big deal. I think it's a wise move for CDPR. I think I'm pretty content. I really don't want to. I don't like going against Nilfgaard in a long round here. They spent a lot getting this far, and I'm kind of curious what the rest of their stuff looks like. If they have Yenvo, we probably lose, just to be very blunt here. My dream would be 3 removal spells in Yenvo. That way I can just like try to lean into Pyrotech. Make a miracle happen. So they're probably sitting there saying, huh, how do I win this? Joachim hasn't been seen, so I imagine you have something nasty. Let's get Joachim, which would blow my mind. The Menno for Imperial, that's fine. Oh, experimental. Okay. Sorceress, you just hit the Sorceress. They don't have ways to buff. Rathan's already came out. They had a pretty good hand last time, too. It's like, I'm not feeling too bad. We got our 1-point card down. That's bricked. It's just coming down. Do you have Yenvo in hand? If they have it, fine. They've had the answers on the right cards every step of the way. They have their Terranos, they have the Brathans in both last rounds, etc. They go, fine.
What is truth if not an illusion?
I know the truth.
And at this point, you're just playing for greed. You're basically playing to say, look, I'm trying to deny you as many interactive points as possible. I'm not going to be able to outpoint their board. If they have Joachim Yenvo anyways. My only hope right now is that Herald is so many points at the end. Like, imagine if I got any other card in my deck. No, maybe.
What then?
If it's Yenvo, we lose. If it's not Yenvo, we win. That's it. That's the question here. Yenvo? Alright, so Neomancy the Storal, so it's Yenvo. Yep, it would lose. And that's fine. There's no... Maybe a Sorceress would have been the right play, but then they have other options. Well, GG. Good game. Down we go, down we go. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Why don't we go ahead and get one more in? I hope you guys like this. It's very different, right? I'm just talking about what's going through my head. And hopefully you're learning something here or there. Maybe you're critiquing things, saying you did this wrong, did this right, but hopefully you're just picking up on a thing or two. I'm not even gonna edit out the win-loss screens or the MMR or any of that. Okay, cool. Rage of the Sea. Are you running the trash card called Ryogan? Trash card called Ryogan? Heck yeah, you are. That's the spirit. That's what I need in my life. Okay, so we want to go tall and unitless. And I need Heatwave as fast as possible. Let's talk about why this card's trash. Because, there's this, okay, give me a second. Let me mulligan here. So, hand's actually fairly good. You're going to be hard to pull off. You're going to take a lot of damage. They have plenty of dish out. We got heat wave, so we win. Excellent. What do I want to put back here, John? Friends, I mean, this hand's honestly fairly good. Maxie's tempting to put back. Because I'm not really missing much in my hand. Because I can, yeah, I think just put back Maxie. Wait. So, okay.
I could do this all day.
So what are you gonna do? Knock off 5, puts you at 4. You go up. Okay. So we're just gonna do the 1-2 smack. I'm gonna not use force protector for the second one. I want to keep my units off the board. I just want to get access to the Melusine in the back, please. Cultist comes down. Oh, that's pretty good. That's smart. That's a tricky play. So we can play tricky as well. I can just lock it. Oh, no, it's healing now. John. Okay. We'll transition our strategy then over to a Pyrotech. Pyrotech hit plus that will do it. Melusine's not as big of a deal as you would think. So here's how we're going to play around Melusine. First, I need to hit... I really want to hit Covenant here. Great. Puts it at 4. I can just go ahead and deal with that now. The Melusine is not a big deal as long as we get the Heat Wave in round 2 or 3. You actually saw me do this with Spiro last game. And we are not streaming. It's really fun. YouTube fan, you guys always support me. I really appreciate all the follows you guys have given me. You guys often, when I'm off stream, will hit that follow, and I always appreciate you for doing that. I'm going to go ahead and buff up Force Spectres. I'm going to treat this guy like the main finisher for our deck. We're keeping it chill. I'm going to throw the game here. I'll throw this round, most likely. How do I want to keep pressure? It's really the only question on my mind right now. Yeah. Locking here. Also, actually, no, I lied. You go here. I'm going to go ahead and hit here because Melusine will trigger first. It'll either force him to put something next to Melusine or pass and they let this die. That's a really bad play. I mean, I guess they're trying to avoid the constant damage going to it, but this will just kill that now. If I had 2 circles in that, could still go wild. Honestly, they haven't done anything. I think I can actually pressure a bit more than I am. This isn't much setup. But YouTube family, I'll constantly follow me when I'm off stream. And some of you guys even send primes my way and subs. Warms my heart, warms my heart. Seeing like, there's nothing quite like seeing a follow off stream, a prime off stream, a sub off stream, Patreon. All that stuff really feels the soul. We don't have much in the way of nature. I'm going to hold off on the Call to Force, but I will just go ahead. And I think I'm just going to come out swinging here.
Why should I, an elf,
With
a
the double
sage,
bountiful play,
converse with an
is really
elf?
nasty. Ping.
They can
Ping.
hide, but there is no escape.
And all of a sudden, we are leading with a giant Hamadryad, and that card, Bountiful Harvest is just nuts. This is the nuts card. If Scoia'tael is going to have a representation in this meta, it's going to be on the back of that card. It is power crept to meet the modern standards, and I love it. I usually just pick the best one. I don't really care much about the placement in hand. If you're running a hand buff deck, you have to really care more about torque. Great, so you can just pass here if I wanted to, and I think it's okay to just go for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Notice there's no more rain here, there's no more engines here, so we'll just tie, and we're gonna crush them. So we are +1 on a tie. Remember, guys, right? We're above 2,400 MMR. We're doing fine, and we're playing mostly with top 500 players and people who play a ton of Gwent. Again, we're 4 days into the season. So you're sitting there saying, "Why are my opponents never this good?" Or never this bad. If you're thinking that, you're asking the wrong question. Because there's tons of them on the ladder. It's not a bad hand for unitless here. What am I going for? Fauve would be for YOLOing here. Okay. Do I run it? I kind of want to run it. No, I haven't used my leader ability. I don't need Dryad's Caress. Okay. I'll play you, and I'm actually going to go ahead and buff. does two things. Avoids Gunning Slash. But it also avoids a... Here we go. Been waiting for you. And this is how you... Ooh, fancy. Okay. How do I want to deal with that, John? How big is this Melusine right now? 17. I do need to murder that. But it's alright. So all I'm going to do is I click here and hit Nature's Rebuke where we do fine. Missed Nature's Rebuke. Maybe I should have held that. Man, Crowmother really is messing things up here. Because what I wanted to do is Nature Rebuke and murder it. How do I want to do this then, John? I'll go for the Tempering. It's fine. I have to figure out a different path to pull this one off. Go back and forth whether I should be row packing here. So they're running Ryogan. Here's why this card's terrible. You can set up your weather to be fine. Like, you don't actually need to spend provision and having it say, wow, I have too much weather at the end. Like, it's not actually a thing that happens. Do I want to go for Bountiful Harvest, John? We have such a nasty finisher at the end there. I'm gonna take a... I think I'm gonna go for the... Here's what I'm gonna do.
Wait, yes, you won't let us talk to strangers.
Got back row you.
Spit it out already.
Because now, since they're running Ryogan, but like... There's so many levels it's bad. One, you can control your rain not to get value. Two, if I'm resurrecting him, I'm not resurrecting Melusine, and I'm not resurrecting Covenant of Steel, which are both better cards to resurrect. Three, and Little Hot Fruits make it so I can always control my rain. So why would I go crazy with it? Alright, a little bit of luck here, please. Is that enough? 3 puts it at 6. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah, and everyone's wondering, like, how do I find more of these opponents? You gotta do some self-reflecting. I love you, but it's time to self-reflect. So just keep Heatwave. Kind of two ways to play this. Honestly, it's time to play the Giga Chad. Giga Chad's coming on out here. We grab Nature's Rebuke. You kill here. It's doomed, so we know we're gonna clear. We're at 55 points. Our last two cards is Herald. It'll be 15 plus 1, 16. Plus we have 2 Symbiosis. So this is a 17-point play. Where Neuromancy Heatwave is another 17-point play. Oh, goody, using Fulmar. So, we know their last card. Their very last card here is... You know what? I don't even care. I will let you guys experience it, right? So, their last card is Fukusa. And Fukusa, like, okay, great. I can deal, what, 1, 2, 3... So, I can get 5 procs of rain, 6, 7 storm. When I bring you back, so 8, 9. You get 9 on this row is 4, 6, 18, 24, 25, 26. I can get 26 points here. We still win, right? Like, you guys ready for it? I'll even, do I want to give you guys the moment, or should I just ruin your hearts? Ruin your hearts to just show you how weak it is. You know what? I think I'd rather ruin everyone's day who believes in this card. Oh look, Fulmar's gone. Right, and you could be Fukusaing the Melusine. Like, why would I not be wanting to do that instead? I don't get it, right? And look, they committed 8 provision for this. You already have extra rain. Ooh, let's see it. Here you guys go. This is your moment for all of you Ryogan believers out there. They are about to meme on me. And maybe if I calculate wrong, maybe I'm about to get devastated. You're seeing it. 9, it's 18 points of damage. It's 20, it's a 25 plus that, like 30-something point finisher. Like 30-something point finisher. It is their dream scenario, other than the fact that I got rid of the Fulmar. Wouldn't have changed that much. There it is, and... Look at it go. Okay, so they after all of that, literally, doesn't matter. Sorry guys, like I'm big for in the Melusine. Anyways, good game. Da 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 da. Oh, hey, new high MMR. Good stuff, eh? Not too bad. And then, man, my favorite part of this deck is the moment I posted the first comment was, this deck is trash. Like, nah, it's good. But John, you might say, what about the Messenger of the Sea? But you, I say, what about all of the removal we had? We had plenty of it. So, like, no big deal. Nah, deck's pretty sick. I don't really know. Maybe I'll just talk about the deck itself really fast before we wrap this up. Look at the deck. The only real cuttable card I think is you could debate is Maxi. And Maxi would honestly be like subbed out for like an Alzur's Thunder or a Moondust. Maybe a Moondust. That might be the only swap as a Purify. The alternative would be cut a Pyrotech, add an Impeller. Because you have flexibility in this deck, which is lovely, right? I'm not committed to Devotion. I'm this very point slammy, too many points go wide and tall simultaneously. So if you have tall removal, great, I have a lot of points to go wide. If you punish me going wide, great to go tall. So like last game, hey, they had a lot of punishment, potentially of Storm. If I go wide, well, it's okay. We had like 2 18-point units or whatever. You get the idea. Deck's really good. I would recommend. You can crush. You can see how nonchalant it is. And maybe you can learn from me. And again, the game we lost in the middle. We lost to that. We lost technically both times. This is the first person through because they didn't spring the crushing trap. They weren't thinking. Benefits of playing against Nilfgaard players who don't know how other factions work. All in all, I think you can maybe I should be a little bit more careful of the round 2 bleeds against Nilfgaard, but deck feels good. It feels strong. Simless is always a dangerous card against Nilfgaard. I'm not willing to cut it though. Well, it depends on how Nilfgaard really shapes up this patch. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was literally just me talking about the game and talking to you and seeing me play. And I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it's a little bit different, but if you liked it, great. Let me know down below. Like this kind of video, if you want it again, you need a thumbs up, you need the likes, you need the comments, you need to let me know because it's weird. And many people at this point have already stopped watching it because they've already seen this deck. And if you're sitting here saying, well, I endured that, John, but I want you to go back to making new decks, great. I will be doing that tomorrow. So don't you worry. Got more of that sweet, sweet, juicy content for your viewing pleasure coming up soon. All right. Love you, YouTube fam. I'll see you all soon. Shout out to McRandar, Student Name 81, and Ahmed Ali for all their generous support on Patreon.